Order. Questions for oral answer. Mr. Darrell David.
Mr. Speaker, with your permission, my response will cover oral question numbers 1 and 2 on today's order paper, and will also address a related question filed by Ms. Hanny So for a later sitting. If the member is satisfied with the response, she may wish to withdraw the question after this session.
Please proceed.
Thank you. There is currently no evidence to suggest that this is a coordinated campaign by any particular government or organization. Investigations revealed that the content likely originated from a China-based platform and was subsequently carried on other platforms and websites, including those on our local information space. The posts attempted to sow discord by inciting ill will against our Indian community and sought to undermine Singapore's model of multiculturalism. The content was assessed to constitute an offence of knowingly promoting feelings of enmity, hatred, or ill will between different groups on grounds of race and doing acts prejudicial to the maintenance of harmony in Singapore under Section 298A, subsection A of the Penal Code. The government has issued disabling directions under the Online Criminal Harms Act to block access by Singapore users to the 14 online social media posts. In recent years, there has been an increase in AI-enabled and inauthentic content on a range of topics which has seeped into Singapore's online info space. We monitor the info space closely and will not hesitate to take measures if it's in Singapore's interests. The government regularly reviews our laws to ensure that they are updated and fit for purpose to deal with the evolving landscape. Aside from the legislative measures, building up a discerning and resilient populace against external influences is equally important. The Ministry of Defence drives national education and total defence to build a shared understanding of Singapore's foundational values and principles, to deepen our public's sense of identity and nationhood, and to strengthen awareness of and collective resolve against threats that may undermine social cohesion and resilience, including foreign interference. The SG 101 website is a one-stop government site that consolidates educational resources on foreign interference, as well as Singapore's positions on sensitive issues to help the public better understand our national positions and to stay resilient against attempts to divide us. The National Library Board works to cultivate critical reading as a foundational skill and to engage the public through its SURE program. SURE stands for Source, Understand, Research, and Evaluate. And this equips our citizens with the skills to verify and fact-check online content. In addition, we regularly conduct briefings, dialogues, and workshops to raise awareness of foreign interference amongst groups, including our civil servants, national servicemen, and students. MHA also rolled out a campaign in 2025 on the use of deepfake videos, AI-generated content, and other inauthentic online posts to influence overseas jurisdictions to alert Singaporeans to this threat. And this effort will continue so as to raise awareness of the role that our Singaporeans can play. Ultimately, a discerning population is the most important defense against attempts to influence or divide our society. We urge Singaporeans to be discerning when consuming and disseminating information online, and to reject all attempts to divide our society. We take a serious view of threats to our social cohesion and racial harmony, including external actors, and will act resolutely against them.
Mr. David.
Speakers, just two supplementary questions. While it's heartening to know that there have been no evidence of external influence in this case, I would like to ask if the government does indeed keep track of possible cases that show the possible coordinated efforts of organizations and agencies that may not be made so public? And if so, are such cases on the rise? And second question would be, if these cases show evidence also of the influence of state actors, what actions would our government typically take? Thank you, sir.
MOS Goh.
I'd like to thank the member for his question. Specifically, we have, like I said in my response earlier, we've noticed an increase in the number of such posts, especially given the use of AI enabling the creation of such posts. So we do see an increase, and we do track very carefully every single case, including investigating whether there are possibly state actors behind the posts. Of course, some of this information we may not find that is suitable to release to the public, but we do look at every single case. We track the data over time to ensure that there's no coordinated campaign. And more importantly, we will not hesitate to take action if there's a need to protect Singapore's interests. I think ultimately we hold the view that any country out there would agree with us that we are just safeguarding our information space, and if you're interested in protecting our social cohesion, and we are, they will agree with us that such content is unacceptable and that the stance that we have taken is totally understandable.
Dr. Neo.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thanks to the Minister for the reply. Our current framework of preventing external influences are primarily based on a couple of acts or laws of the Foreign Interference Countermeasure Acts, the FICA, Protection of Online Falsehood and Manipulation Act, or POFMA, and also OCHA. These are, in the view of our populations, pretty much reactive in nature. I believe they are also proactive measures. Means that the population looks at it as what we do after the events have happened. The question is, how effective are they, and how do we measure this effectiveness? Is the ministry exploring more preventive measures compared to these slightly more reactive measures? What are the programs or initiatives that are preventive in nature? And again, how effective are they? Specifically, how to educate or train or inoculate our residents from believing or disseminating such malicious information. Thank you.
MOS Goh.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to reiterate in my response to the members' questions. The government had to act decisively against these videos because they seek to undermine Singapore's cohesion, and they seek to attack our multiracial society and attempt to divide us based on our race. Our societal harmony cannot be taken for granted because it has been painstakingly developed over decades, and every community in Singapore is valued. Everyone has our equal place, and this diversity in Singapore's fabric is our greatest strength. But it requires deliberate and constant protection against division. So these videos strike at the very foundation of what makes Singapore home for all of us. And that is why the government acted firmly against these videos, especially because they originated from a foreign source. And we must reject all attempts that seek to divide us. The member asked about proactiveness and effectiveness. He also mentioned that we do have various acts in place. Yes, I'd like to reiterate the government has various legislative levers, some more recently introduced, in place to deal with such threats. And these include the Foreign Interference Countermeasures Act, the Maintenance of Racial Harmony Act, the Protection from Online Falsehood and Manipulation Act, as well as the Online Criminal Harms Act. And these are a range of levers that allow us to be able to act decisively should any such narrative or attempt to divide us rise. But having these laws, I want to make the point that having these laws allow us to be very proactive, going upstream, to demonstrate that we not only have the laws and that we are also willing to exercise these laws to protect our citizens and our social fabric before our racial harmony is affected. Our online directions under FICA was first used in July 2024. We've also used other various online directions under OCHA, and they have been generally effective, as the social media companies have worked with us and complied with the directions issued by the government. And of course, we will, from time to time, continue to review the laws to ensure that they are fit for purpose, to continue to be proactive in this space. Of course, in my earlier main reply, I've also listed various efforts in terms of public education, and I'd like to reiterate that a discerning public is the most effective tool to fight against such interferences to split our society. And every incident that has happened is also a potential learning opportunity that we will use to educate our public to fight such division efforts.